Welcome back to the Slasher Siblings podcast. I'm your co-host Cicely.
I'm your host Hayden.
Today we're talking about Psycho. It came out in 1960. It's rated R. It's an hour and 49 minutes. It was rated an 8.5 out of 10 on IMDb. It's about a Phoenix secretary that embezzles $40,000 from her employer's client. She goes on the run and checks into a remote hotel run by a young man under the domination of his mother.
So we had a little bit of a mix-up. She watched the remake with Vince Vaughn. So I'll just read. That one came out in 1998. It was rated R, hour 45, 4.6 out of 10. A young female embezzler arrives at the Bates Motel, which has terrible secrets of its own. So it sounds a little bit similar.
I think it's basically the same thing because this description, I did not know it was a different movie until I registered 1960, and I said, the movie I watched came out in 1998.
So what I thought we could do, I haven't seen the remake, and she hasn't seen the original. So I figured I could read how the original goes, and then you can tell us about the remake.
Okay.
And see and tell us like if there's many differences or what have you. So
then we'll have to on our own just watch the other.
Yes.
Maybe. I usually ask the year when I'm like, okay, is this the movie we're doing?
Yeah.
Is this the year?
Half the time I usually send a screenshot of it. I didn't this time.
I also didn't realize that movie was the original was that like came out that long ago. Like I thought the 1998 version was
the original.
Yeah. And then I was like, wait, I don't remember Vince Vaughn being in the original movie because I've seen clips from the original.
Oh yeah, like the
That's
shower
why I was
scene
like
and
confused
stuff.
when he popped up. I was like,
This is
odd. Wait, this came out around the same time as Dodgeball? Like, hold on.
Yeah, it was like 2001. Dodgeball came out.
Yeah,
right?
I was like, oh. Okay, I didn't question it. I didn't look up another version. Like, I just went with it.
All right, before we get started, read the question.
This 2001 film involves a religious, fanatical father taking his two sons on a divine mission to kill demons. The answer is frailty.
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 So, if you got that right, good job. But we do need some recommendations and stuff. Right now, we're just picking random movies. We have a couple, recommendations still left. So, if you want us to watch and review a movie, let us know. And we're literally going to start writing them down so we know
we'll get to it
when we get to it or not.
I think the next couple movies we have are really good.
Yeah, we have a good September lineup, it seems.
We have one dumb one in September. I think we're due.
Yeah, we're due for a dumb one.
Our last dumb one was Tusk.
Depends on how you look at it.
Or Rubber. Well, purposely dumb.
Purposely dumb, okay,
we went out of our way to watch a stupid movie.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I gotta watch Rubber again.
I'm good.
I want to see if I feel the same way about it.
Well, I'm gonna get talking about the original.
Okay.
And then you can tell us
how it's similar.
How it differs from
how
the
remake
differs.
I'm definitely gonna watch the
original.
Yeah, for sure, because I've been wanting to watch the original, and I thought I did.
Okay, so a big thing about Alfred Hitchcock was like his movies, the music played an important part, was that the music made you feel things, and immediately, as soon as the movie starts, it's anxiety-inducing music.
It's very like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Because the same thing happened in the one I watched. I was like, just bam, music, straight to it. Yeah.
Then at the beginning, the main character and her boyfriend were kind of like they were in a hotel room, but like, they were sleeping together, all that jazz, but like the way they were talking made it sound like someone was cheating in some way. But then they were talking about how the girl's never been married, and he just got out of a divorce or something like that. And I'm like, why are they acting so weird? Because immediately, this
It was
movie,
weird.
this movie makes you feel anxiety, and then immediately confusion.
Did you see the guy's butt?
No.
Oh. Well, this movie, they show the guy's butt. And I was like,
Well-
I didn't see that.
Well, there's a difference.
There we go! First
So-
one!
She gets to work, and I just want to say before we get too much into it, there's a split second right when after she leaves the hotel room and she's heading to work, you'll actually see Alfred Hitchcock standing outside the window.
Oh, that's cool.
He does little. He doesn't like have parts, like full on parts in the movie. Like some directors will
Like
give him a
Stephen
part.
King?
Yeah.
He
No,
does that.
he does background stuff.
Okay.
You'll just
Stephen
catch him
King
in the
has,
background.
like, little cameos, right? Is that what you call them?
Depend, yeah, because I mean, Creepshow, he had a full-on part in it, and there's certain movies where he has an actual legit speaking part and stuff. Alfred Hitchcock just stands in the background, and he's just there.
In the movie It, he was the bike shop
Yeah, the bike shop owner.
owner. And actually, I didn't realize that was Stephen King until Dad was like, you know who that is, right? I was like, no.
Stephen King.
Yeah. I didn't really realize what he looked like at the time when it came out.
But I just wanted to say that when she got to work, she said she had a headache, and her other coworker was like, you know, I can give you some medicine. It's not aspirin, but it's tranquilizers. I was like,
I'm
not
pretty
aspirin,
sure
but
they said the same line in this movie.
hey, the remake might be shot for shot.
It's honestly, so far,
Exactly.
pretty
like,
much the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny. She was like, I don't have aspirin, but I have these tranquilizers. They'll
You want
work.
these?
But that guy came in. He wanted to buy, what was it, a house or something?
Uh-huh.
And he was like,
He was weird.
he was really cocky with his money. He's like,
was he
I don't
weird?
carry around more money than I can afford to lose. And then he like spends the rest of the movie being pissed that he lost $40,000.
Yeah.
I was like,
Dude,
okay, calm down. You're trying to impress
got a
this
big
woman,
head.
and she literally has zero shits to give to you.
Yeah. Zero.
And he's flirting with her the whole time.
He's creeping me out.
Yeah.
On my end, on my movie, I was like, what is this dude's problem? If somebody ever came up to me and started talking to me like that, I'd be like, sir, kindly
Fuck off.
fuck off. Thank you.
So in the next scene, she's putting the money in her purse, gonna take it to the bank, and we think that, okay, that's gonna happen, you know. But she goes home, starts packing. She's packing everything.
She's packing.
Yeah, and she throws it in the car, and she just takes off
Uh-huh.
immediately. And that scene was like kind of a cool scene in a way. The reason I wrote it down was because I like how you can see the internal struggle of like, should I do this and should I run away? But I really want to do it. Like I need them. I could start a new life, start over, blah blah blah. But should I? Should I just go, you know, do the right thing? Or you could see she's flopping back and forth, and I like that. Then she decides to go, you know, throws her shit in the car, starts going. The boss sees her at the crosswalk. He's like, oh, jig is up, lady. You're screwed now. But he just looked at her, did a double take, and then was like,
She's good.
she's good. I don't care. But it was kind of weird that, like, where was he at? Like, did she drive in front of her workplace?
Maybe, which would be kind of stupid.
Would be stupid, right? But if not, where were they that, you know, they just
crossed
happened to
paths.
meet? Like, that's a total coincidence.
I don't know. It's a good question.
But, then she, you know, is driving along and she starts getting tired, so she pulls over and the police officer wakes her up.
Uh-huh. Actually, that's not a bad thing. Like, that she pulled over.
No,
in
that's
my
a good
opinion.
thing that she pulled over,
Because
yeah.
sometimes I've been so tired driving where I'm like, I should probably pull over and sleep. And I don't. Okay.
And I don't.
But that, when the police officer was like, you know, there's like motels and stuff around here, I was like, she didn't want to wreck or like put other people in danger, sir.
Yeah. And I mean, it was also kind of a good way to be like, oh, now it's really over. You know,
Yeah.
the boss called. And
You're screwed.
yeah. But, you know, she gets out of that too. Starts going again. And the cop is just following her.
Uh-huh.
And then luckily takes, you know, a different route. But then she gets to the place, the used car place or whatever. And he's just watching her.
Yeah, from across the street or something.
Like, I don't understand what this dude's problem is.
He's probably got a little inkling.
I should say that I have seen this before, but a very long time ago, to where I didn't remember much except, you know, the most famous scene out of the entire movie.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that, like, a lot of this is basically like I'm watching it for the first time, because it's been, I don't know, like almost 20 years since I've seen the movie. It's been a long time. Anyway. So yeah, he's just watching her. I don't really think, I mean, I guess she was kind of acting weird, but like, I don't think she acted weird enough for you to want to follow her and stalk her and stuff.
No. Especially if she said she was literally sleeping.
Yeah, so.
Tired.
Whatever.
I'm only defending her so much because I would do the same. Like, I get it. I'm a sleepy girl too.
Right. So she jumps in the new car, almost drives away without her luggage, and then starts driving again, right?
The guys were being weird with her at the car place. Someone chasing you?
Yeah,
They
kept saying that in this one too. But when she was driving, I really liked I don't know if it was in the new one or not, but there was a voiceover of like different people talking about Marion. What I mean is, like, you could hear the boss's voice saying, in the background
while she was driving.
And you could hear the boss being like, well, she didn't show up for work today. Is she in yet? Like, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, it would switch to, like, I think it was her sister. And be like, oh, she's, you know, just gone. This is worrying. And, like, I just liked, like, it was almost as if there was, like, some sort of conscience like thing.
Her
guilt or something.
Her guilt.
But it also, the conversation sounded so real that it could have been actual discussions being had between the people.
Yeah.
So it was a really cool scene. And she finally arrives at Bates Motel, which, in all intents and purposes, seems like a normal motel. You know?
Yeah.
Nothing really gives you weird vibes. Like, the people before Norman Bates seemed weirder than Norman.
Yes.
The way they were asking her questions, like the cop and the dude at the car place.
Yeah, like the dude at the car place really, like...
He was strange.
I was like, what is he doing?
What are you running from? Just shit like that. And
don't fucking worry about it.
Yeah, shut up. But then she gets to, like, the murderer, and we all know, you know, Norman's a murderer.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. But, like, he gets to the murderer, and he's like the most normal one.
Yeah.
So she arrives at, you know, Bates Motel, and it's, you know, normal. I mean, he gets a little awkward, but that could just be played off as, like, he doesn't see very many people.
Yeah.
It's just that he's just kind of awkward in general. But he offers to make her dinner, some sandwiches and stuff, takes her into the parlor.
I thought they were gonna, like, fall in love.
You thought so?
I mean, it seemed like it.
It
the
seemed
vibes
like it,
were
yeah.
There.
Yeah.
They were vibing.
But, you know, he offers to make her dinner, and they go into the little parlor with the stuffed birds, and...
No.
There were stuffed birds?
Yes. Stuffed owl.
Yep.
That's an immediate red flag for me. If you're inviting me anywhere, and you're like, come eat here, and it's a bunch of...
And you're into taxidermy?
And you are showing me taxidermy animals, I'm fucking leaving. Big red flag.
Big red... Yeah.
Big red flag.
Yeah, that's it. But this is also kind of a cool first meeting of Norman.
Yeah.
Because it kind of shows, like, how Norman's normal.
Yeah, he seems really normal in the beginning. Or
well,
just in general.
In
really.
all intents and purposes, you know, Norman is normal. He's the normal one.
Yeah.
we find out later it's a little
yeah.
it's a little more
It's a little
in
more
detail.
than that.
Yeah. And then he runs up to make the food and whatever, and she, Marion is her name, right? Yeah, Marion, overhears Norman arguing with his mother,
Yeah.
saying like, why do you have a woman, blah blah blah, you're gonna sleep with her, aren't you? And he's like, no, it's just she's a customer, I'm making her food, blah blah blah. And you could tell that she was kind of like distraught hearing the argument between Norman and his mother, because I mean, it's not like she's there to, ruin anything. She's there to literally sleep and leave in the morning.
Yeah.
So
I think it just made her feel bad.
and then, Norman, you can tell, is a little upset by arguing with his mother. But that's just kind of understandable. Yeah.
It's just kind of how it goes.
And then he hesitates to go into the bedroom, and it's kind of gentlemanly.
Yeah.
In a way.
Mm-hmm.
But we also find out later that was probably because his mother did not want him trying to sleep with her or something. But like, in a way, it seemed at first glance it seemed like gentlemanly not to go into the place with the bed with a woman. So, it didn't seem like he was like expecting anything,
Yeah.
And then they go into the parlor, the stuffed birds and everything, and they're having what seems to be a normal and pretty good conversation. But he starts to go off on a little tangent, and he says, we all go a little mad sometimes. Which, that's a pretty famous line. Everyone's heard that line. But, like, you could kind of tell that, like, he might not be all there.
Question.
Yeah.
Did the Mad Hatter say that as well?
He said something similar. We're all mad down here.
Okay.
Or we're all mad here. So it's similar.
Okay.
But,
Go ahead with what you're saying.
yeah, so he's, it kind of shows that he's not quite all there in his head.
Yeah.
But he's still presenting as normal. But he starts peeping on her.
Creeper!
And there's actually a fear fact about her bra color.
Oh, great.
That seems like interesting. That's coming up later. So this is the moment where you really will see the fear fact. That's why I'm saying it now. But he was obviously a little creeper. And it's obvious that this is not the first time that this has happened.
I love that.
He had the hole already behind the picture, and so on and so forth. But then came the very next scene, which has to be it has to be the most popular scene out of anything horror. And that's the shower scene, where Norman Bates' mother comes in, stabs Marion in the shower. And it was so famous and so well done and scary, what have you, that literally people stopped taking showers. They would either only take baths, and I'll go more into detail on that because it's a fear fact too, but like, this scene is so terrifying that people had real fears of like showers and stuff because of this scene.
I mean, it's still kind of a fear for me. Like,
know what I mean? This movie is 63 years old, and it's still a genuine fear.
Did you just do that math in your head?
Yeah.
Cool.
23 plus 40.
I wasn't born with that.
But anyway, 1960
I missed that gene.
1960 to 2000's 40, and then add 23, 63.
Hayden, I don't work like that. I gotta use my fingers.
I can only do it like I have to take the 3 off of 23.
You literally sat there and winked one eye shut, and we were like, "Yeah, easy math." That would take me at least 3 minutes to figure out.
Okay. Anyway, 63 years old, and it's still today a genuine fear.
Yeah.
Like, people are literally scared of, like...
Yeah.
showers and
Good
people
thing my
coming
cat sits outside the shower. I
Exactly.
have that problem, guys.
in. Well, Echo does too, so
They all take turns.
pretty sure that Echo would scare somebody away.
Pumpkin sits on the toilet. He's
It's
so
funny
scary.
that Echo like sounds scary, but then like, I mean, yeah, he bit me before, but like,
Shut up. That's because you had a toboggan on.
no, not when he bit me in the face.
Okay, don't make Echo sound bad on the
No,
podcast.
no, I didn't have anything. I was holding. He didn't know me.
He didn't know. He did not know
I met him
his
like
uncle
the day
hated.
before or something.
He did not know his uncle hated.
And all I was doing was holding Ginger
Uh-huh.
down for him to sniff
Uh-huh.
her, and then he didn't like it apparently,
Yeah.
and he bit me in the face. But
They're best friends now. Echo would never do that to Uncle Hayden.
And
He's
then-
come a long way in 3 years, everybody. Do
and then
not.
like a year later, he bit me in the butt.
But that's because you walked in the house with a toboggan on. You should know better.
It's my house.
You deserved it.
Both bitings were in my
You
house.
deserved both of them.
Anyway, he has bit me before, but like, it's not like he's ravenous.
He's the world's biggest baby.
Yes.
He wants to sleep. And
He
eat
sounds
cheese.
very scary
Yep.
when he growls and barks, but then if he bit you, it'd be like, go away.
Yeah.
And then that'd be the end of it.
Ouch.
It's not like he would bite you, hang
Yeah.
on, and rip your calf
No.
open.
No.
But if someone came in trying to hurt you, pretty sure he'd switch really quick.
Oh yeah, he would. But I don't want people to think he's mean. He's a very, very big, sweet
He's hesitant around men.
baby.
He's hesitant around men,
But I
But he
like that
doesn't-
about him.
he doesn't have a bad streak with men, really.
He just doesn't like men. Period. I support it.
More so like old ladies, but anyway. Yeah,
That's
so
my baby.
I think you'll be okay. Honey would even like rip their toes off.
She'd punch him in the face.
Yeah, I was gonna say get up and punch him in the
She
face.
punches.
Anyway, so Bates's mom kills her, and then there's the scene where he's getting rid of the body. Tell me how similar it is in the new one.
Okay.
So the stabbing happens.
Yeah.
He rips down the shower curtain, puts the body on the shower curtain, wraps her up in it, puts her in the trunk of the car, pushes the car into the swamp, and then goes back and mops everything up.
Yep.
Is that how
Yep.
it happened?
Mhm.
Okay. I really like that scene because it showed like how far Norman's willing to go for his mother. And it also shows like this is calculated.
Yeah, and I was like, when the murder was happening, at first I was like, oh, she's naked, and ouch, I can feel that. You know, like I can feel the stabs in my back. And then I was like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I could not figure out who the hell, like, was the murderer until the end.
It was his mother.
I didn't catch on to that. I was like, who is that, him in a wig?
You can when you go to the end and then you go back, you can definitely see that it's him in a wig.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn maybe more than this guy in the original because Vince Vaughn's a little bit like taller, bigger.
Yeah.
You know, but
It was weird.
anyway, you'll understand when you watch
Yeah.
the original. But he sinks the car, which was also a cool scene because he knew that the swamp would just take the car,
Yeah.
which was pretty interesting.
Like,
so
he's probably done this before.
yeah, he's definitely done this before. And then there's the scene I want to talk about where the private investigator comes to talk to the sister. And she's already shown up to her boyfriend's place of work or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And he was even kind of strange at first. He's
He
just
was.
sitting there staring at her. Did he come in the door and just like stand there and stare at her and the boyfriend talking?
Yeah.
So he was just standing there staring at him for a good minute. And he was like, okay, maybe one of you did it.
Yeah.
I was like, so you think the sister knows where she is,
And it's
But-
just sitting here?
but just sitting here, but runs to the boyfriend asking where she is?
Right.
And then you think the boyfriend knows where she is when he literally has no idea what the fuck's going on.
Not a clue.
He's like literally getting the information from her. He's like, but wait a minute, I just talked to her yesterday. She
Yeah.
blah blah blah. I was just there. and all this other stuff. I guess the boyfriend was a little bit more understandable, but the sister, accusing the sister is kind of dumb because, like, she's literally driving around looking for her. Like, I don't think she would do that if she knew where she was.
No.
So, private investigator shows up at Bates Motel. And I thought that was it. Thought that was, you know... But this is only like halfway through the movie, so I'm like, oh great. You know, what's gonna happen? And he's talking to him, and he's getting this weird vibe from him, and he's like retracting statements of his story, and he's like, well, you know, she was here, but I guess, yeah, she looked a little different. It was raining, and it was dark, and like, his story changed a bunch of times. He was like, well, can I, you know, go see the cabins? Well, he hesitates at her cabin, taking him into the first room. Should have just, you know, you probably cleaned up good enough. You should have just taken him in there, because that's the one he wanted to see anyway. Because you told him that she was in cabin 1. It's not like he did a good job of cleaning up, so I would have just like, yeah, go ahead, go right ahead. In. And then he starts snooping around. Dumb freaking idea.
Yes.
And, you know, he went back and told him, like, I'll be back in an hour or less. I'm going to go see what's up in this house. I need to talk to that old woman. Immediately gets killed.
Yeah.
By the mother.
Immediately.
And it's like, you should have known that something bad was going to happen when you walk into this hermit's house with his mother, who they don't get customers anymore. And it's just like, you should have seen it coming, is basically what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, he starts walking up the stairs and gets stabbed right in the face. Just falls down the stairs. You're dead, dude. No thanks, I'm good. I understand he was a private investigator, but like, no thank you. Go get the sheriff.
Yeah.
Go get some backup.
Go get some backup.
I'm not walking into this weird house by myself trying to find a dead body, you know? No.
You're crazy.
Crazy. So, Sam shows up, the boyfriend, to Bates Motel, is looking for the private investigator, but can't find him. Uh-oh, where'd he go?
The private investigator in the remake is Frank Gallagher. From Shameless.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, he starts talking to the detective, like the actual real detective, sheriff, whatever. And he starts getting information. He's like, maybe the PI ran off looking for her, or maybe he found the money and ran off with the money. Because that is a lot back then. I actually wrote it. I think I wrote it down. No, it was $300,000 in today's standards. So $40,000 then equals out to $300,000 today.
So it's a lot of money.
Absolutely. So starts talking to the detective. Maybe he ran off. Blah blah blah. But then they start getting information about Norman. Like, hey, his mother's dead. And they were like, I know for 100% fact I saw a woman in the window, and he talked about his mother. He's like, okay, well, who'd we bury?
Good question.
Good question. Let's find out. So then, you know, mother's dead? Question mark? Like, what's going on here? Then the immediate next scene is that he's talking to his mother. But the detail you finally figure out after he said his mother was dead is that you never see them converse with each other. It's always out in the hallway, or you were listening with Marion from the cabin, and you could overhear them argue and stuff, but you never fully see the mother until she goes and stabs her in the shower and stuff. So
exactly.
And then Sam and the sister, I forget, Mary, or I don't remember the sister's name, want to go search the motel. So they're making this whole plan, like, we're gonna go see if we can find the PI, and we're gonna see if we can talk to Norman, if we can go see his mother. No. And then, so on and so forth. So, why? So, they show up to the thing, right? Why was the boyfriend, Sam, being such a dick to Norman? Don't get me wrong. You suspect him of killing Marion or something, but, like, was he a dick in your movie?
Yeah.
He was acting like such an asshole for no reason. Like, he showed up to this motel and was like, no, I have to sign in.
Yeah.
And it was like, my boss is paying for it, so I need a receipt. And he's just, like, getting snippy with him for, like, literally no reason other than the fact that, like, you suspect him of doing something.
Yeah, you don't know for sure.
No, and that's what you're there to find out, so why were you a dick?
Uh-huh.
And then they start searching cabin number 1. And they found that little note.
Piece of paper? Uh-huh.
That said 40,000 minus 700, whatever.
That's exactly what happened in this movie, too.
And then they go up to the house looking for the mother.
Yeah.
And he knocks out Sam.
Yeah.
Like, what is with you and wanting to so desperately...
Balls.
Yeah.
You got big kahunas.
And you almost died because of it.
Yeah.
But this is where we see the mother's corpse. And we know for sure, and we actually find out for the first time, and it kind of confirms, suspicions that the mother is dead and Norman was in disguise as her, killing people. Which is, if anyone says that they saw the twist coming from the beginning, they're a psychopath.
Yeah,
because it literally didn't give any hints until the sheriff said that she's been dead.
Yes.
Then
anything before that now.
You could then start to say, oh, well, maybe it's him, but I'm not too sure. This confirms it.
Uh-huh.
So really, it's like the end of the movie till you know for 100% fact that it's him. And I want to talk about the scene that the doctor... Did they have a doctor talk to Norman? Find out what happens and stuff? Like a psychiatrist? He's talking about split personality.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk about that scene, and he's like, oh, I got the story from the mother. And they're like, well, she's dead. And he's like, well, I understand that, but you gotta understand, this is how I'm gonna explain it, you gotta understand that he's taking on the mother role. When his mother died, it's because Norman killed her and her boyfriend, and he has split personality, and that when he's the mother takes over fully, and there's no Norman left, and Norman comes back and he's only half back, and like that's a huge twist on top of a twist.
Oh yeah, it's like, what?
Not only did he, it's not just that he thought he was his mother, he was his mother.
He was her. Like,
her personality took him over entirely when he started, killing, because she was jealous that, he was going to fall in love, blah, 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 whatever. But, like, that's insane. That's such a big twist on top of a big twist. But there was also the terrifying ending, if it's the same as the remake, where the mother's talking in his head, saying, "Oh, let them see who I am. I'm not even gonna swat this fly, so she doesn't. So they don't think, oh, she wouldn't even hurt a fly." And then like saying, basically that this has been her plan from the beginning and stuff. Like, that is a cold, terrifying ending. Like, I don't know. It's one of the scarier ways to be like, yo, this dude's a...
Is it like a it's kind of like panned in on his face, sort of? Yeah. And it's kind of like creepy looking.
Yeah. And he's like smiling at the camera and stuff. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's cool.
It is cool.
But,
makes me want to watch... I'm going to watch the original.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the original. The original...
Because I even liked the remake. It was good.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's probably a shot-for-shot remake, which isn't always a bad thing. But Depends on how well they do it. And it sounds like they might have done it right,
Yeah.
the right way. It was just people didn't really like the fact that, it was a shot-for-shot remake or something. But... So, is there any big differences that you
Not that
noticed?
I'm going to watch the other movie and see what the
For
actual...
sure.
Yeah.
So it
Not
sounds
from what
like
it
it would
sounds
be a
like.
good movie.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn and the
Yeah.
guy who plays
It's
in
pretty
Shameless.
good.
Yeah. So, I'll have to watch that
Yeah.
one too. But let's get into some fear facts. One I do have, I know this, I didn't look it up or anything, I already knew this, was that in that terrifying ending scene where, he's smiling at the camera and the mom's talking or whatever, there's a skull that flashes over his face.
Oh, okay.
In the original. I don't know if it was in the new one. But for a split second, you can see a skull.
Oh, wow.
Over top of his face.
I know what you're talking about.
And then, at the very, very end, they're pulling the car
out of the swamp. Yeah, they showed that too.
So, for my first one, director Sir Alfred Hitchcock, he's a sir, he's been knighted, was so pleased with the score written by Bernard Herrmann that he doubled the composer's salary to $34,501. Hitchcock later said 33% of the effect of Psycho was due to the music. Ironically, he was originally adamant that there should be no music in the shower scene, but he was persuaded by his wife to give it a try. The screeching violins and dire strings, which would inspire the music for Jaws, and ending up selling the scene and driving theatrical audiences beyond anything they have ever experienced.
Wow.
So it was
Props
all
to the wife.
Yeah, true. Props to the wife. And also, that scene couldn't have been achieved if it wasn't for the music, too.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Music in this movie is a huge most
factor.
movies, really.
Yeah,
it
honestly.
makes you feel a lot of ways. The cast, when coming on to do this movie, had to promise not to divulge information about it.
Oh, that's cool.
So they had to hold their right hand up and promise that they wouldn't say anything.
That's cool.
Alfred Hitchcock. What I was talking about earlier about people being scared of, showers and stuff. Received an angry letter from a father that his daughter wouldn't bathe because of his last movie that I forget the name of, because someone dies in a bathtub.
Yeah.
So she started taking showers. So when she saw this movie, she stopped taking showers because she was scared of showers now. So she wouldn't bathe, period. At all.
Don't let your kids watch this movie then.
But listen, you know what his response to that was?
What?
He sent a letter back saying, take her to the dry cleaners.
Oh my. That's hilarious, actually.
That's like a super savage response.
Yeah.
He's just like, send her to the dry cleaners
Send
then.
her off, whatever.
Fuck off.
I don't care.
That's so funny. So Alfred actually bought the book rights for Psycho for $9,000, and then he went around and bought as many copies of the book as he could that were out there, so people wouldn't know what was going to happen. So people couldn't read it before the movie came out.
Yeah, that's cool.
So he went and bought as many copies before people could read it as he could.
That's cool, actually.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's the bra color for my final fear fact. So what his idea was, it was that towards the beginning of the movie, before she took the money, she had a white bra on.
Yeah.
Which to him symbolized like an angelic angelic personality, whatever.
Yeah.
And then after she takes the money, he has her wear a black bra.
For a baddie.
For like, soiled, sinned, or whatever. To kind of give you that, visual cue of like she's not so pure anymore or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is pretty interesting that he put that kind of thought into it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think that this movie is accurately rated at 8.5.
Okay.
What would you rate the remake?
Like a 7.
A 7?
7.5, yeah.
Okay.
I liked it.
Yeah? I would probably like it too.
We'll have to do the other one and talk about it.
So, I think 8.5 is pretty good for it.
Okay.
If not a 9, 8.5 to
I might
9.
like the original better. I might like the remake better. I don't know.
Usually,
We'll have
the
to see.
originals are better,
Yeah,
9
I
times
agree.
out of 10.
I agree.
But maybe this one for you is the difference. Who knows? So you'll have to watch it.
I like
and-
Vince Vaughn, so
Yeah. I like Vince Vaughn too.
yeah,
But yeah, this one,
good movie.
especially, this is a 10 out of 10 1960s movie. As today's standards, it still holds up.
Yeah, it does. It has a good reputation too.
So I'd say that's pretty accurately
Yeah.
rated. So we have our September lineup, and obviously when September comes around, I'll put the full lineup on Facebook. But we're gonna start September 2nd with Poughkeepsie Tapes. And it's supposed to be like one of the most terrifying, fucked up movies ever.
Yeah,
Horror movies
I've watched
ever
it by myself. Very dumb.
made. Okay.
Very dumb.
So I'm gonna watch it, and we're gonna talk about it on September 2nd.
Great, can't wait.
But we do want your recommendations.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna start a literal list of recommended movies.
Yeah.
So put it on the Facebook. We're gonna write it down so we remember
Yeah.
and we know if we got to it or not. And we also, if anyone's interested about doing guest spots on here, and we can do it over, Discord, or
Yeah.
if you're,
Unable to make it here.
if you know where we live, if you're listening, know where we live, and you
You
want to be
weirdo.
on it.
Rain,
Rain.
you want to join us?
So if you want to be here for it, or we can do it over Discord, and this time we can actually both be here for the Discord one. She wasn't able to make the last interview, but we'll take it from there. If you're interested in being a guest, let us know. We'll have you on.
Yep.
We'd love to have
Yep.
you. You get to pick your own movie, so on and so forth. So, yeah, let us all know that.
Thanks for
Movie
listening.
recommendations on the Facebook page. Just pick a random post and comment on it.
Yep, let us know.
Maybe this September you can put the September lineup, you can put your recommendations in. If you are interested in being a guest, message the Slasher Siblings Facebook's thing. So let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
So we'll catch you next week with the Poughkeepsie Tapes.
Pretty freaky.
I'll
Thank you,
talk to you later.
guys.
Thank you for listening.
Catch you later.